You're killing me, Smalls.
We making movies, no acting in. I'm fucking Instagram action shit. UPS shipping packages. I'm smoking weed out them packages. If I ain't got a gun, I'm stabbing it. I got some leftover lean in the cabinet. I can hit your little hoe when she happy. Poke on that pussy shit like it's a tablet. We making movies, no acting in. I'm fucking Instagram action shit. UPS doing the packaging. I'm smoking good ass weed out them packages. I can't lie, 'cause I ain't capping it.
Welcome back to the DNA Podcast. It's your boy D.
It's your boy Antonio. Let's get to it.
This week we're going to be discussing representation in media, and that's all forms of media from movies, TV shows, books, and social.
I guess music as well. So you told me in the car ride over here about a story involving Peter Dinklage. You want to go over that?
Yeah, so the idea came because I don't know if y'all are aware, Peter Dinklage of Games of Thrones fame. I know him from Death at a Funeral. Some of you may know him from Destiny 1, not 2.
For like a year.
He's a notable little man, and he spoke out about Snow Wives casting dwarves. Well, he didn't speak out about the dwarves part. He spoke out about Snow White in general because of dwarves, and he looks at it as setting little people back with cliches that just isn't true. And it got me thinking that you can speak out about stuff, but it doesn't make it right. And the overall theme is plenty of people have spoken about representation and stuff, and sometimes you're just not right. And I guess we can dissect this Peter Dinklage thing. For me, he doesn't really... He's older, so it's weird to me that I don't think he's seen Snow White, because he said we have little people living in caves like savages. The Snow White I saw, they lived in a cabin.
Yeah, it was in the cabin in the woods. They would go to the cave, the mine or whatever, and work, and then they would come out and go to their house.
And I can get just simple like little people cliches, but for me in Snow White, they are literally they're the good guys who push the plot forward. Like they're the heroes in this story.
Well, I mean, kind of. They're not the bad guys, put it like that.
Yeah, if you take them out, Snow White is just, I guess, doing shit.
A little white girl in the woods.
Yeah. Like they push the plot along in a good way.
In a good way. I would say if there's definitely a way to make Snow White, right, and it not be tasteful, and it for it to be derogatory, and you can make it a bad movie, right, for little people. But then you can also make it and rework the characters, give them some actual backstory, give them a reason why they're sleepy, dopey, all the different ones, angry, hungry, all the ones. You can give them a reason why they act like that, why they feel that way, like their personality traits. There's ways to make them into real people. I think the perfect example of this, I don't know if you've watched The Witcher yet, but there's a couple episodes that have dwarves in it, because in that universe, dwarves are their own separate race or whatever, and they have their own lives and backstory and culture, and it's not like a derogatory way of doing it, and it's just, is what it is.
With your point, you could branch this off and be like a Maleficent type of thing. They could have had their own freaking movie.
Yeah,
but Peter Dinklage is pushing for it not to be a thing at all, and it's one thing about being represented wrong, and I agree with that. But to get rid of them, and he also was like dwarves is demeaning to little people. This is where I push back. When it comes to actual fact and information, I will break down whoever the hell is wrong. Dwarves is a mystical being, and I think it comes from...
And it's like
yeah, they're actually mystical things, and it's just so happened they're small. It's like the Jack and the Beanstalk. The story is that he's always a giant up in the beanstalk. That's not making fun of 7-foot people. That's and so in society, which I hate, people always lash. You're not a little person, so you can't tell them how to feel. True, but I can tell you when you're factually wrong. And these was his arguments against it. He could have made better arguments, and I've thought of better arguments, but these are the arguments he made to not wanting the movie have small little people, and these are stupid arguments. Like it just flat is.
Yeah. And like my thing is like not saying that little people can only play roles like this, but this could be you also got to think Peter Dinklage got big off of Game of Thrones, right? Like he had other roles, but he became notable as a actor when Game of Thrones came out. Mm-hmm. I knew who he was before then, but that's because I played Destiny.
Most black people know him in Death of Family. He was in other movies. I think people knew what he looked like, but it's because he was
became
little.
A household name.
Yeah, people knew of him as that little guy in the movies because he played little man. It's funny that he speaks out, but he played little man roles.
If anything, like, and I understand that it's hard for you to get a role when you're a minority. Sometimes you have to take not have to, but if you wanted to make some money, you got to take the roles that are a little bit demeaning or whatever. But
I like that you brought up that point. This is actually a good segue into a little person that I know. His name is Hornswoggle on the WWE. He destroyed Peter Dinklage. He started off that Peter is not the king of little people. He doesn't speak on behalf of all of us. That's also my problem when people speak out. I've seen black people speak out on the black community. Who the fuck elected him? But we need to have elections who speak on black folks, because he ain't it. When we did our thing with Stephen A. Smith, I showed you clips or whatever, and he was like, I'm representing the black community. Who said that?
Who said
that? But Hornswoggle made his fame. Everybody my age that watched WWE know Hornswoggle. It was the role of a leprechaun, and they were specifically looking for a little person. And he explained it's been my dream to pro wrestle. And this was a role designated specifically for me, because truthfully, I was never going to fucking make it as no wrestler. They look for 6'6" people, this, and I was never going to make it without this role. He became beloved, and everybody knew who he was. But his thing was, Peter wanting these roles taking away is limiting the opportunities for little people in acting. If we take away small people roles, you're not going to give a fucking NBA player role to a little person. That's just...
the only way they would do that is if they were making fun of the little people. Mm-hmm. You see how this works?
There's what he's saying and how I feel. Representation in general can be a good thing. You could get 7 brand new little people actors who couldn't have found a role anywhere else in that movie.
They could be amazing actors, and that could be the role that sets them onto a path to find a regular role, and it's just and that could be their launching point, and other little people can see, oh, we can do other roles from here, we can do. I'm saying, and I understand where Peter Dinklage is coming from, just as a black person. I get, we're tired of seeing, I don't know, I'm tired of seeing black struggle movies, right? Like, I'm tired of seeing slave movies. I'm tired of seeing Selma. I'm tired of seeing those kind of movies.
I'm tired of seeing them, and I haven't watched them in forever. Literally, Django is the first movie I watched of that nature.
And I only watched that movie because it was about a black guy killing white people.
I seen it because I heard Samuel L. Jackson gave out Uncle Ruckus vibes. He sure shit did.
He played that role a little too well. I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah, bro, I still look at him funny in movies. Did you sell out for this role? But this is where representation is key at. I get what you're saying. I don't personally watch them, but I'm glad that they're made, because I look at it the flip side. Sure, shit be upset to see a white struggle movie. I promise you that. I'll sure as shit be upset that they have NBA movies based on all white teams.
All I'm saying is, I completely get what you're. I agree, but you know, it's like how we're portrayed as black people in media is like either we have a coming of age story, but the coming of age story is like Boys in the Hood, right? And Boys in the Hood is a great movie. Probably one of the best hood classic movies of all time, right?
Our coming of age movie sucks because coming of age for us is just living through the end of the movie, like dead ass.
Like sometimes, like to me, I want us to have a problem that's bigger than not as big as life or death. You know what I'm saying? I don't want us to be worried about getting gunned down the street. I know that's a part of life, but at the same time, it's like maybe you show like them trying to get to MIT. Show them like I want to see people struggle with everyday shit that's not police brutality. I want to see something different.
I want to see the end result of the end result. I want to see them graduating college. For me now, going through college like Boys in the Hood, so he got accepted to go into college. The motherfucker could have flunked out first semester. There's no like all because he made it. That doesn't mean it's the cherry on top of the sundae. Life probably got worse. Could have got better. It's like it's fake, so we can assume. But like, so you're telling us the high points for us is getting accepted into the college?
Just getting the opportunity. That's key. Is the opportunity,
and
not the outcomes.
And so our arguments is my argument is I like those movies. I don't care if they're made, but I do 100% want to see diversity. But I don't want them taken away.
Like, for me, like, I want to see the black scientist. I want to see,
It's a trend that happened, and I guess why I'm not super upset. I'm glad we're starting to get our black heroes on screen.
Yeah.
Because 10 years ago, that wasn't a thing.
Yeah, there was no black superheroes.
There was no Black Lightning. This is before Black Panther. Yeah.
We didn't have Cyborg. I mean, we had the cartoon, but that don't really count.
It counts a little
Yeah,
bit,
but I'm saying it
that's
wasn't
the
like-
most that we...
Yeah, the most we got was
Cyborg and Static Shock.
in Black Green Lantern sometimes.
Oh, yeah, sometimes. But you see how quickly they try to take that
Well, it's
motherfucker.
because there's 3 of them niggas. That's why.
I understand that there's a bunch of like it's literally a core, so they could pick the hippos, the main motherfucker. Like I know that's what they can do.
I'm saying there's 3 of them from Earth,
Yeah.
so they have to cycle through all 3.
And realistically, it could be more from Earth, but go with the black. Got it? That's what
There's
we want.
3 that are in charge of the Earth sector.
Yeah, I'll go with Jon Stewart. Goddamn it! But
I'm with you.
and I see things progressing more, and that's why I was like I can still go for the stereotypical hood movie because now we have our Black Lightnings. Now we have Falcon and Winter
Soldier.
Oh yeah, you still got our Winter Soldier. Yeah. Now we have our Falcon and the Winter Soldier. People are signing petitions to bring Black Lightning back to Netflix. So
Black Lightning.
Black Thunder.
They took the show off of Netflix.
Oh yeah, Netflix went through this whole thing where they canceled a whole bunch. And they canceled a whole bunch. I think they canceled all their superhero shows.
Well, they got rid of it's because Disney had bought the rights to like all of Marvel right at one point. So we lost like Luke Cage. We lost
Luke Cage. Yep.
They lost Daredevil. And they lost Iron Fist and Jessica Jones.
Yep.
And now Luke Cage and Daredevil were really good TV series actually. Like they actually were pretty solid. But it had little to do with Netflix not wanting to run those shows no more, and all to do with the rights of the show.
Yeah.
And
Well,
the rights of the characters.
Which is more acceptable because, well, Disney saw them as a hot property, but people are clamoring for it because that's good stuff. So I could see the progression into other stuff, and I guess I'm satisfied because I see the progression, and I know that there's going to, we're moving away from them roles. But at the same time, I bet not see no damn Boys in the Hood 2 with Eminem in the fucking car shooting. Like there's some, I guess for me, there's some stereotypical things that sometimes we just gotta let it ride. So like
don't know.
I hate dumb jocks. That's one trend I want to see die down. But I like us being the jocks. But as you can see with Gabby Douglas, as you can tell with Simone Biles, LeBron James,
I mean, the top 5 players in the NBA right now are all black.
no, I'm listing black people who are politically and socially aware that you can be a top athlete in the world and not be stupid.
Yeah. True. I know where you were going with that. But okay. Yeah.
So like, but if we're jocks, we have to be dumb jocks. If we're nerdy people,
Well, that's no
rare.
fucking game. You can't get bitches at all.
At all. If we're the lead character, like most of the time, if you
our
see
bigger brother has to be in a gang or some shit like that.
that, or the other people don't respect us for a majority, and we have to work hard as shit to get their respect.
I mean, that's pretty accurate.
Like normally when the black guy's the leader, we have to prove why the fuck should we listen to you? And we have to go on this fucking it's a 2-hour movie. An hour and a half goes to proving why I deserve the motherfucker. And so there are always demeaning roles when it could just be roles. Like and so I do see it from Peter. I get that on Peter Dinklage's side, but it waters down his argument for me when he wants to get rid of the roles that are perfect for little people.
Yeah.
Like these are ones that, and for me, some people dream of being in Disney movies, like Hallie from Chloe and Hallie, and she's loving that she gets to be Ariel, and the Little Mermaid remake. And people were glad for the Lion King remake that they made it all like that's some stuff that people actually dreamed of doing. So I don't doubt that there's probably little people out there, and don't get me wrong, Twitter. And I know this for facts. Twitter was an outrage of little people saying, "I'll take that role in a fucking heartbeat." Like we want those roles because I'm gonna go the exact opposite. If little people don't want dwarves, I'm gonna make them niggas 7-foot black guys.
It's gonna look like that. You know what video I'm talking about? The white girl
With
on
the
the
white
couch.
I'm gonna make it to where y'all can't even audition for the damn role. Then if it's so demeaning,
My casting call's gonna be fucking. Yeah, we want 7-foot black men
yeah. So like if
from Nigeria.
if that's not what you want, so yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's dumb. Like, he's not wrong, but he's not right.
You're never wrong to feel the way that you feel, but all because you feel a certain type of way doesn't make
you
it
right.
stupid.
Yeah.
No, that's what I tell people. And it's like, I don't want you not to feel a certain way about stuff. But sometimes you got to look outside yourself. And what Hornswoggle also said is he took those little people roles, so it's easy to look back and talk down now since you got it, since you're established. It's easy to say get rid of those now since when you're at the top. It's easy to look down on people when you're at the top of the mountain.
You're eating them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure there was a point in every actor's life, and you know what I'm saying, we're in media somehow, and you know, right now this is a starving artist type of thing right now, and I'm pretty sure at one point in his life he was a starving artist.
I know him for most of the roles where the gag was that he was a little man. Like that. That's why it's so damning for him to come out and say something about like the dwarf. The dwarves are hardworking. They're actually rich because they had a bunch of fucking wealth in that thing. So you came and shitted on a role that's not that demeaning when you were literally like midget in scenes of other movies. And I 100% agree. You got to do what you got to do to come up, but you did that. Like
You were someone's dad's gay midget lover. Like, don't do that.
And they weren't shocked that the dad was gay. They were more shocked that you're a midget. You're like, that's what I'm talking about.
Come on.
And so, like, when I see it, it just shows a lot of emotion in other things because that's a huge. I think in society, we always have this me be me thing going on because humans are naturally selfish. You see it every month now. I don't like the representation in this. They need to do away with that. They need to do away with this. How about we just make slight changes? Why must it be done away with?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like we can, and there's plenty of characters. I think the perfect example of this is God, what's his name? The Ten Rings.
Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi. The origin of that character is super fucking racist. Like it's pretty bad.
And those stories are super fucking
It's
racist.
pretty bad. But they found a way to use that character and to rework the character to give him the respect that he deserves as a character, to be an inspiration to to his community. I literally saw a tweet where he tweeted at Marvel. It's like, well, when am I gonna get this Shang-Chi role? 5 years before he got the role.
Respect.
And people at Marvel didn't even see that tweet. They never even looked at it. But he believed so fucking hard. He worked so hard for it that he got it.
And this is a role he been dying for. And this is a real comic book fans. We're not die-hardy, so don't compare us with the sweats. But it was a worry for me about watching the movie. Because how are you going to do this? The whole character is based on racism.
Yes. It's all just tropes.
I did not want to see that, but I'm also like, man, this movie might suck. They don't got nothing to work off of. But they reworked they basically took the character and made the story. That's basically what they did. Because the Ten Rings don't even technically function how they do.
Oh, no,
which I'm
not
grateful
at all.
for that.
Yeah.
Like, that's a nice tweak.
They're pretty lame.
And so, like, make it, I guess his argument should have been make it tasteful. Somebody will listen to me then and be like, why are you so mad at him? I'm mad because that wasn't his take. His take was to do away with. Mm-hmm. And I feel like we overreact, and when enough media outrage come, I think that they are looking to do something about those dwarves in the Snow White movie. Either they're not going to make the movie, or they're going to switch what they represent. Like, they're not going to be little people. Why? Just why?
There's going to be short people for that one. They're not going to be like actual little people. It's going to be like people who are like 5 foot and under. Like they don't make the cut for a little person.
Yeah, maybe they cast the white lady. She has to be 7 foot.
or they do it like The Hobbit, where like they shoot everything in perspective, so they put them really far away from the camera to make them look smaller, and then they just frame it upright.
Yeah. And I think that it is damaging to not only society but media, because there's a reason why stereotypes exist. You need some stereotypes to push even the most woke plot along, because you need background characters, you need side characters, you need X, Y, and Z. Most things that we love movie-wise, we love because it feels fleshed out. And the only way you can flesh things out is with an already preconceived notion of what it's like there. Meaning that when you go to Mexico, you expect for them to speak Spanish. I shouldn't have to explain to you through plots that they don't speak English.
It's a telenovela. What do you expect?
But that's dead ass. Like, that's simple stuff. When you go to the hood, yes, things are kind of different, but we are going to spend too much time and money explaining this stuff when it should just be understood. So that's why I think it's damaging in media, because we're going to have fucking movies and books describing every little thing that's not necessary.
Yeah. I think where all this is coming from is from the lack of representation for so long. Is that like there is always going to be an extreme pushback, because it's extreme in one direction for a long time. It's always going to be an extreme in the other direction for at least for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So that's why people feel the way that they feel, and they feel so passionately about it, and it's like such a big issue for a lot of people, is just because the pushback from just decades and centuries of being portrayed in a certain way or not getting roles or whatever. So I guess that's just my idea of like the reasons why people are tired of getting the same roles and stuff like that. But
Yeah, and I completely understand that. Yeah, I just completely understand it. That there is no real pushback on that. But then still, we do got to look at it from the mindset of, damn, we were, not us as a race or as a minority, lucky to get the roles, but just as a person, because some roles were made for a person. Mm-hmm. Like, oh yeah, what you came in for, I didn't like you for that, but I can slot you in.
Yeah, I like you for this character.
Yeah.
Can we talk about it?
And so, yeah, being a black guy, I know we touched on it. I don't really have too many qualms now. Maybe it's because I don't really care about much. Maybe it's because I'm just naturally easygoing. I don't really have these strong feelings. And maybe just because I'm a man, and man has always been portrayed as dominant forces in everything. And it's just, I don't really feel strongly about it. Now, not that I don't care, but I feel like progressively everything has moved along. Now, little people, I will admit that I kind of haven't thought about it.
They definitely don't get as many roles, but also, you also got to think, how much of the population is little people?
I'm going to be honest with you, too. We discussed this in anime terms. There's logistical problems of having little people, camera-wise. Yeah, like, and so you know how Hollywood is set up in LA. Most people don't know this, but most of the guys are kind of short, and they're kind of short to fit the women on screen. Like, it's kind of a logistical nightmare to be too tall too. From that vantage point, like, it's weird when people hear that. It's like, you could do this, you could do that. Yes.
You can put people on boxes. You can do this. But then I can't show the feet.
I have to do so much more smoke and mirror if I just had the right person, which is still wrong. But there is that factoring in. There is a little bit of a logistical nightmare.
I kind of did not realize that, but yeah, a lot of them niggas are short. Tom Holland, short as shit.
He's shorter than Zendaya. Yeah, and she's not that tall.
God damn it, and he piped that.
And if you think long and hard about just most movies in general, the guy would be like maybe just, a tad bit taller than the woman. The woman's only 5'4". So
maybe they should cast taller women. Maybe that's the issue.
It's weird how this got
yeah.
How I figured this out, because one of my homeboys was like, I went to LA and I got to meet Ice Cube. He's short as shit. But it dawned on me, somebody told me while I was there in LA, when the Lakers not here, I'm the tallest nigga around. And it's like, I guess they are short.
I've never noticed that, but like, just knowing that like Tom Holland is short, and I know somebody else is pretty short. Kevin Hart. But he's short for short people.
He's short for short people. I don't know if you ever really noticed either, now that you brought it up, Tom Holland with scenes with the actual adults, they're shot in a way. I never
make him look taller than he is. Yeah.
That, or he's always like, he rarely talks to them face to face.
Yeah, it's always like from a distance.
And like, now that you said it, it just dawned on me. He does talk. Like, I think, of course, Iron Man is like one of the only few people.
Yeah, but
he talks to.
Typically, but it worked out for Iron Man and him because it was kind of like a father-son role, right?
So it was supposed to look.
It's supposed to look like he's looking up to him.
Mm-hmm. But then when you think about it, he's never really talked to Captain America. Like, it's always been from the side.
Yeah, it's always been from a distance or from the side, or it's always been it's been weird. God damn it! I did never notice that.
It's that thing I remember when I told you in anime how, oh damn, they aged the characters up because it's a bitch to draw. I heard in real life it's a bitch that actually could do fight scenes with people of different lengths. Yeah.
Well, because even when I took like an art class, they have different size like figurines that you can like pose people, like the posing figurines, so you can have a reference to draw off of.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to find a small one. Like you can, it's usually like a typical size and a bigger size. They don't really have one smaller than your basic size.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
And so, like, yeah, that's one of those weird things of maybe society need to progress further into where these aren't issues. Mm-hmm. But I'm not going to say like, these are issues that I've actually thought about them being major issues. Major issues to me, and that's why I really don't care. Women are in more empowering roles. 15 years ago, women in any form of media was only used as damsel in distresses. I don't know if people are going to admit to that.
Vixen.
That's it.
Yeah.
15 years
Or the
ago.
bitch.
It dawned on me in the Scooby-Doo movie when they turned Daphne into a badass. And I thought it was kind of weird, but it was progressive. It just progressed way too fast.
I think it was cool. I think it made sense in the sense of that movie. It also was aligned with what the cartoons were doing at the time.
And that's why it made sense off the 50-year history they had of cartoons of Daphne seemed to get kidnapped a lot. So let's...
And they even gave it a good storyline. Like she got tired of being kidnapped, so she learned how to fucking fight.
And I'm good for... That's probably the first instance I've seen. Kill Bill came out before, but I didn't watch Kill Bill until I was in college. So...
Oh, really?
Yeah, but I say I didn't see that first. But women have been more empowered in roles. And now that's taking the form of black women are more empowered in roles. Mm-hmm. Fat people are getting more roles than just the fat, funny person. I know her brand of comedy ain't the greatest, but like Melissa McCarthy is a good staple in Hollywood, and she broke the mold of just funny fat girl. So I see things more. I think compared to what I know it was when I was a kid and to now, that's why I don't have these huge complaints. But it can always be better.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with you. Like I don't like these social issues like this. Like they matter, but I don't know if they matter to the same point. Like maybe we should be giving more energy to things that really affect our lives on an everyday basis. Like we should probably pour a little bit more energy into like climate change or healthcare or stuff that's going to affect your life in the long term. You should be more outraged about other stuff that actually kind of matters.
And this is going to be my controversial take. And I kind of believe this, kind of don't. But I'm just going to say it. My fucking podcast. Sometimes I think all these issues come up just for a way to counter racism towards black folks. I always feel like every time we bring up racism towards us, which is still valid and which is still like a thing, that's when all the other parties get offended of their things. Yeah. And it just makes me think,
this is kind of...
Would you have complained about that before?
Yeah, like, why is it a thing now? Why do y'all care now?
Since Black Lives Matter, how many different groups of things have came out and been offended? And that's just... And
if we don't acknowledge them, we're the bad guys.
Yep. I don't know if you noticed, but they always bring up when it's black people, when it's Black lives, it matter. But this is not the same. It is not. Short people life matters too, but that this is not the same with race. And
it just does not carry the same weight, dude. Like, come on. Come on.
Yeah.
Let's be realistic.
And the reason why I believe it to be true because kind of evidence is on its side, but I do believe that a group of people can just be fed up.
Yeah.
For long enough.
I think it's a mixture of the two. But yeah, I feel like it gets so much media hype to downplay black people shit, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. Like I feel like things get blown out of proportion for not saying that the issue doesn't matter, it's just like it's not as much of an issue as you think is an issue, you know what I'm saying? And like especially when, 400 years of oppression to your you know.
However many years I've been on TV, on camera. I can't say small people been in media for so long.
You gotta think like, so like we were slaves for 400 years or whatever, and
Yeah.
you know, Jim Crow and all the other fun stuff.
Bro, keep that thought. I have to say this is gonna be controversial. Might get us canceled. Bro, what year did small people come out? They sure shit ain't in the slave pictures.
Oh my god! Clock out. Go home. What was the release date on that one?
When did God drop that DLC? Because I swear it was not base game.
There's always been little people. There's always been little people.
Look, bro, I saw a tweet of that, and I tried to do research. It doesn't come back.
There's always been little people. Matter of fact, this is kind of off topic. There was a story I read, and it was like there was a person who was like born a midget, right? And like he grew up to like, I think 12 or something. He was like under 3 foot, like full on a little person. And then he had he got cancer on his basically on the part of your brain that makes human growth hormone. So he ended up being 7 foot tall. So he was both a giant and a little person in one lifetime.
I hope he kept a journal because I want to know which was worse. I want to know which.
Well, he died from being a giant, so that was the worst one.
God, I didn't even know that was a thing. I knew that most giant people shouldn't be born a giant; they grow because of a defect.
They have a disease, yeah.
But I've never heard of a person who wasn't going to be tall to get that shit and shoot to the fucking moon.
He was like, this was like back in like the 18 something, or like early 19 something, and like I read it and I was like, this is fucking crazy. Like that's a crazy story just with like to be a little person and then this grow into being a giant person.
You know, back then they didn't have science either. That probably reinforced God. He fell asleep one day, prayed on it, woke up. I'm growing. This was off topic, but I had to bring that up.
I don't remember where I was at.
You was at 400 years.
Oh yeah. It's like 400 years of oppression to. I mean, at least y'all got to be white. I mean, I know not all little people are white, but at least y'all got to be, you know, for the majority of y'all got to be at least in somewhat of an upper class for a long time.
We all got to take our L's somewhere.
You know, not all of us can be, you know.
I guess that's how I always look at life, too. Maybe we all can't be equal, and that's how it should be. But we all take L's somewhere. There's white people, white men look down on white women. Y'all took that L there. It's not y'all's fault that y'all women. At the upper echelon, we have men, but it's separated by race. Oh, shit. White guys look down on black men. Shit. But we still up there, though.
I feel like there's nothing wrong with looking down on somebody if what you're looking down on them on is because you're better than them. Actually,
yeah.
Like if we both play basketball and I'm dunking on you for 20 minutes, I'm crossing you over, I'm hitting fadeaways, I'm fucking you up all game.
Figuratively and literally looking down.
Nah, even if I'm shorter and I'm fucking you up, I get to look down on you because I'm better than you. Like I'm physically better than you.
Yeah.
Right? You shouldn't look down on somebody if you just an average nigga.
Yeah.
If you just an everyday person,
and those be the people that look down the most. Like your dad ass, you're literally just average. You are a 5'8" white male. You're not strong. You're not skinny. You're not fat. You're just American.
And I saw this for sure in high school with like people on the football team. It was always the people who were like average, who made the team, who rode the bench, who talked the most shit about being athletes.
Boy, I talked the most shit when I was on the bench. It's funny how things switch. I stopped talking shit when I was playing. Put too much effort in playing. Couldn't talk shit.
It's like it's a quote someone said. It's like when you're actually good, people will tell you. When you're just average, people will tell you that you're good. Wait,
You fucked
you
the
will tell
quote up,
people.
but I get it. Yeah.
You will tell people that you're good when you're just average.
Yep. But when
But
you're great,
when you're
people
great,
tell you.
people will tell you.
Yep.
So
And that's how I feel. Bro, I talk shit when I was riding the pine because I knew I was riding the pine. I mean, I needed something, goddamn it. So
I feel good.
I was going to talk shit, goddamn it.
See, for me, I rode the bench in like my first year of wrestling. Like I wasn't really that good. I was okay, and like I just whatever. It is what it is.
I was behind probably one of the best linemen my school's ever had.
Oh, okay.
Like, there's no BS. So it was just like, he was older than me by like 2 years. He was more built than me. So, one, skill-wise, he's probably one of the best. Two, he's actually more built. Like, I feel like we was the same body type. I could give him a little run for, bro, this is just the natural line of progression. I can't, there was no chance of me getting it. So I was like, ain't no shame off my game. I'm talking shit. But it's just, yeah. Bro, it was so damn hard actually playing. So mentally draining, physically draining. I ain't talking shit with y'all. Bro, you better come out there and see me. But, yeah. Issues. They ain't that big.
Yeah, I don't know. I like I was saying, I think we should focus on the actual issues in our society that affects our lives really. Like really, really affects our lives. You can choose not to consume media. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to consume watching a movie or a show or whatever. You can vote with your dollars.
I feel like there are major problems, of course. And there's problems that aren't worth a damn. But even still, I feel like our course of actions should be to spread knowledge instead of destroy history. So instead of destroying the dwarves and Snow White, which I honest to God see no problem with representation of short people, how about we just enlighten people on the history of short people and this or that, and like that's just in general of anything.
Fuck it, drop a struggle movie.
Yeah, and just
see, tell me how bad it was in the 1920s for short people. I don't know.
get a little mini series of like a 10-part something of the life of a short person. Now, ain't that pretty much like Little Planet, Big Person, Big Planet, Little Person? It was something like that. My mom used to like.
I think it was Little Person, Big Planet.
Yeah, but like do something like that, but on like a better scale. Yeah, and that goes with anything like women empowerment, gay empowerment, change empowerment to representation, Asian representation. This or if you feel like there's a bad stigma, but coming out, pointing fingers, and causing an uproar is never the right way for it.
But I think it's if you're a person in that minority and you're in a position to throw your weight around a little bit, you've made it, you have a little bit more pull, you have a little bit more say. I think it should be on you to give your minority more opportunities so that they can make it and they can do the same thing and y'all can pull each other up. Because like that's what black people do. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like
we're black people, so we know how to do black people shit. Like that, and that's that.
Like, cause if you leave it to the oppressor to give y'all a chance, y'all never going to get a chance. You have to make that lane, and it's sad, but it's the truth.
For me, representation in media, all you could ever want, not even just media, just representation. All you can ever want is the people that are portraying or appealing to you is people of your color or people of your group. Because I'm in marketing, and it was a show I like, Blackish, and like this is another thing that the urban department is pretty much black people shits, but most urban departments are still ran by old white people. That's why it doesn't appeal. So he took it as an empowering journey that they gave him full control over it, because to appeal to black, at least they saw the potential in him to appeal to his people, and he's going to run with it because those are still his people. Like, it's better than the alternative of old white guy. And that's how I feel in general of the greatest thing you would want is to be able to represent your people. So instead of Peter taking the next biggest role in a fantasy movie, he should be doing more stuff to put little people in positions instead of take away. And I like Peter Dinklage a lot. I really do. But this quote, like, it really rubbed me the wrong way because I did utterly think it was ignorance. Mm-hmm. And I think he was just speaking from emotion instead of a place of, damn, that was loud. from a place of thought or intelligence. Because I even told you, like, we discussed some of it's good reasons to where he should have been upset. But he didn't list them. He didn't list them.
Yeah, there's definitely ways for him to make that argument that was good.
Yeah. And so, like, you have the pool. You're Vern Troyer's dead, so I really don't think of any other little person when there's little, like, Mini-Me was literally the essentially little person to me. And I don't think he had a little role. I mean, I guess it was a comedy role. I guess it was make fun that he was a small version, but I like Mini-Me, goddammit.
A botched clone. That's fucked up for it.
But you have Pool, so now starts doing stuff. Like, I guess in the end all, I don't know what he wants.
Yeah. That's, well, like, what is your ideal outcome out of this then?
Do you want just normal, like when there's friend groups to have a small person?
But then that you're the token friend. I mean, not necessarily, but
yeah.
Let's be honest.
Yeah, and that goes into always like the me thing of like now basically you need a gay representation in everything when just like mathematically that's impossible.
Yeah, every friend group doesn't have a gay person. Just keep it a buck.
And that's where I think that oh shit, gay people in TV now. We need more small people on TV. And sometimes you need to know the number. What's the percentage of small people in the world? Like, that's just not normal per se.
Yeah, it's not typical.
Yeah. So like, is that what you want? Because make your own show. Do more shows if you just want. Maybe if you don't want it to be typical, you just want it to be seen. I'm here for that. Do it.
Yeah.
Don't expect for black people to do it. We're doing black people shit.
Don't make us die on your cross for you. That's not it.
Yeah. The big women empowerment thing I can think of is Girls Trip. Black women made their scripts, made their characters based off of slightly like themselves, based off of people who they know. They felt empowered to do a movie that they loved, and black women loved it because it represented them well.
I like that movie too.
Man, it was decent to me. I'm not dying to see the second one, but it was a good movie.
Coming out with a sequel?
Yeah.
Oh.
Jada Pinkett in it, of course. Of course, you know her ass on Girls Trip. But like, there's instances of if you don't like it, make your own.
Yeah, it's kind of like. I hate this terminology, but you gotta pull yourself up by the bootstraps. You know what I'm saying? You gotta put the work in, and it's like.
And the problem is he's put the work in. Yeah. That's what makes it worse. He's not a starving artist.
Yeah,
he's at the top of the mountain. So if you want change,
build some stairs in that bitch.
If you want, how do you want change? But you're taking roles away, so you're seeing less little people. That's why I was like, I'm confused. Do you just want to spread the history of little people? Do you have a thing against dwarves? Like, I don't.
Yeah, I don't.
Do you want more roles for little people by getting rid of the dwarves? I'm confused. Like, I'm just.
What is your solutions to the issue? Because we can talk the issue all we want, but what is the solutions that you're looking for?
And so it's always easy to make an argument, but if you don't, your solution don't have to be the solution, but you at least gotta have
an idea.
Yeah,
something.
And this was so left out of field too. That does just make it.
Is there even talks of a Snow White movie coming out? Oh, okay. Yeah. See, I didn't even know that.
They're trying to redo all that shit.
Yeah,
for live action.
They're trying to cash in. I get it.
Yeah. So, Peter Dinklage, like him. I think he said something stupid. I'm gonna be on my watch for him to see if he continues to say something stupid. It might start making me like him a little less.
Fair enough. Yeah, I pretty much agree with your closing argument. All I'm gonna say is Dinklebot out.
Dinklebut.